welcome to another episode. Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another episode.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another episode of Stay Rad Wine Blog TV. I'm coming to you on a Saturday night. My wife Kara and I just made this pizza and I'm really looking forward to eating it. I'm not going to taste it in front of you because it might be kind of messy and fall all over the place. But we decided to taste two wines side by side. We're doing a horizontal tasting of some of these Trader Joe's reserve bottles. And you guys, if you've been following long enough, you know I'm a big fan of the Trader Joe label wines. Not the $2 chuck. That stuff is garbage. Straight garbage. You're not bringing it. But just the straight up like Trader Joe's labels, there's some really good value there because, I mean, they're just buying, you know, shiners from these bigger plants and putting their labels on it. But I mean, when you've got something like this Trader Joe's Reserve, this is a Rutherford Merlot right here, 2012. When you start going into these like sub AVAs and getting a little bit more specific with it, I mean, these things are kind of fun. And then also I've got this Grand Reserve right here. They're both Grand Reserves. This white label was $14, the black label $12. This is the Oakville 2012 Merlot. This is from their lot series. This is lot 50 right here. So I'm kind of looking forward to tasting these two 2012 Merlots side by side from two places that are very close to each other in the Napa Valley, known for their Cabernets, but you know, let's not forget about the value and just the dope flavor that comes with a good Merlot. I do got to tell you, I'm having some reservations before I even get started with this black label Oakville Merlot, and it has nothing to do with what I think might be in the bottle. It has everything to do with the cork when I was trying to open it up. This cork was just rock solid, like dried out. I could not put a corkscrew into it. I had to use one of these Asso pullers to get it out. And this thing is just, you hear that? I mean, it's like super dense compared to how it dampens on that one. And I'm seeing all these like weird crystals on the side. Don't let your corks dry out. Don't let your, don't store your wines straight up and down. I'm scared as far as how long it was stored that way. So typically I'd probably save the more expensive one for second, but I'm gonna go with the $14 white label because I'm pretty sure it's not corked. Let's pour this out here. So this is the 2012 Rutherford Merlot, the Trader Joe's white. Actually, it's more like a silver label Grand Reserve from Rutherford. Color, just a nice dark ruby red. It's a young, fresh wine. You're not getting a lot of like, you know, light bricking near the edge when you look at it. And on the nose, there's just this nice, you know, subtle, elegant, what I'm getting is more of like a French oak type of sensibility, more of like that vanilla type of oak, not like a oak monster, not like a oak bomb, but I mean, it's definitely there. I'm sensing those chalky tannins that, you know, you would typically find in you know, your Cabernet Sauvignons, but, you know, Merlot is right up in there as far as one of those Bordeaux blends. It's going to bring, you know, some of those subtle tannins too. I'm getting like some red apple, red currant, and like a brambly, like blackberry type of thing. Really pretty nose. And on the palate, oh, this is really nice. Just, you know, juicy and delicious and elegant and subtle. You know, those nice red apple, red cherry, red currant, raspberry, blackberry type of flavors, along with these just beautiful powdery tannins. I know the last wine I was tasting for you guys, that blind wine the other day, have those astringent tannins. These are very much smoothed out tannins. Just a nice gentle integration of oak. This is something, and a nice long acid. This is something that you could store up for another 2-3 years, and I think you're going to be pretty happy that you did. Then again, at $14 a bottle, this is something that you're not afraid to open with some pizza, whether it's a Saturday night or a Wednesday night recording a podcast, who knows. But really nice. I mean, honestly, at 14 bucks, and this Merlot, and it does have a little bit of that black olive on the tail end of the finish as well, which is something that you'd always want to look for in those Merlots. It's something that would kind of tip you off in a blind tasting. Wow, I've got no problem giving this a 92, and no problem suggesting that you run out and get this right now. Now I'm going to get into this black label. $12, and again, I love Trader Joe's Grand Reserves. This cork is really freaking me out, and you know, we can have a discussion about cork versus synthetic closures another day, because I'm afraid I'm going to be angry about this. I may have to march into Trader Joe's if the thing that happens is what I think is going to happen. I may have to march into Trader Joe's tomorrow and give them a piece of my mind. Let's see here. So again, this is the 2012 Oakville Merlot. So again, this is a horizontal tasting where we're tasting, you know, 2 wines from the same company. Was it made by the same? Let's see here. So actually it was 2 different vintners that packaged these up, but it's nice that it's in that same region, that same area. It's being sold by the same folks, same year. So hopefully we're just looking for subtle differences in that fruit. Now, again, I would say this one, the Oakville, is a little bit darker, right? On the nose. Actually, not bad. Maybe I'm not going to be so angry about this. I'm getting like some, wow. I'm getting like some blackberry, blueberry on the nose, which, you know, when I get blueberry on the nose on any like Bordeaux varieties, I get really jazzed on. This is a good start, guys. Maybe the cork did not taint it. Maybe. Let's get into the palate. I mean, really, I would just say those, you know, those blueberries and blackberries are really just shining through. I'm not getting a huge sense of oak there. I mean, the oak is present, but it's not like as upfront as we saw in the Rutherford example. Okay, so the pluses, you know, really nice, good fruit up front. Again, plenty of that like blackberry and blueberry type of fruit. It's not like a fruit bomb, but it's nice, good, nice, long acidity. But this thing is tainted. It's ever so subtle, and it's one of these things where it's like, you know, this might just be my table wine for the next week, where it's like, I may as well have some of this if there was nothing else around. But this is tainted. This has some TCA showing through, and I think that's the problem when you talk about real cork versus synthetic. A lot of people are all about the romance of a cork, the romance of, you know, stripping bark off of a tree and shoving it into your wine. But when you let those corks dry out, or if it's just a tainted cork to begin with, you're gonna have some issues, and it's ever so subtle. There's a little bit of like that, like wet cardboard that's in the background that some folks would, you know, say, oh, it's nice and earthy. This is not a nice earthiness. This is a different type of earthiness. This is, I just jammed this cork into the earth. I licked it. I stuck it in my wine. I let it dry out. I let it perfume the entire wine and just leave this lingering sensation of like not very goodness. So, I mean, I don't know how to score this one. I don't know how to. I mean, if I was just going off of the nose, if I was just going off of the fruits that I'm tasting, I mean, God, Trader Joe's, you could have been 2 for 2, and then it's this cork taint that just kind of threw it off. So I don't know if I'll be marching in there, but I mean, it's definitely like this deflating feeling when I go from $14 92-point wine to something that's tainted that, I don't know, maybe I'll use it to cook something. It's just a weird feeling, guys. So let me know what you think about Napa Valley Merlot. Let me know what you think about like Trader Joe's labels. Let me know what you think about tainted ass corks. Leave a comment. Till next time, everybody, stay rad.
Stay rad, wine blog. Stay rad, wine blog. Stay rad, wine blog. Stay rad, wineblog.com.